It's time for the Villa Download, where we unpack, unhinge, and unapologetically obsess over reality TV and pop culture. I'm your host, Danielle Peterson, also known as Danny Gossip Girl, and I'm so excited you're here. Whether you're joining us live or catching the replay, thank you for making me a part of your reality TV routine. Joining me is one of my favorite returning guests, Amanda Bella from Bella Talks TV, and together we're diving into some of the biggest stories happening across reality television right now. So, for example, we are going to be doing a full deep dive into the House of Stassi, breaking down the cast, the family dynamic, the surprising decision to break the fourth wall, which I love, what Stassi had to say about Vanderpump Rules, and whether this series could change the future of Bravo. And trust me, it may get heated between Amanda and I as we have differing opinions. And you all know I love a good debate because there is nothing wrong with having opposing sides, something that folks need to remember. And then we're heading over to Next Gen NYC, checking in on the Real Housewives of Orange County and unpacking all of the latest off-screen chaos surrounding McBee Dynasty. And of course, we couldn't have Amanda on without briefly talking about Love Island USA. Just doing a quick look back at season 8, sharing our biggest takeaways, and then getting into everything surrounding Nick and Alondra, including the Travis Scott rumors and the recent Demois buzz. And we'll wrap things up by doing a spotlight on a new exciting project, Styled by Stars, a book created by Alyssa Poginski, celebrating the incredible world of styling, but tying in the horoscopes and the stars, not just your celebrity stars. So grab your favorite drink, jump into the chat, and let's get this conversation started.
Villa Download. We break it down, your dose of Love Island and beyond. From the villa to the latest shows. This is the Villa Download, where the real story always flows.
So tonight's guest is someone I am so happy to have back because her passion for reality television is absolutely contagious. If you have spent any time in Bravo or reality TV space online, chances are you have come across her incredible content. She's the creator and the host of Bella Talks TV, where she breaks down the biggest reality TV headlines, off-screen scandals, and there's certainly a lot. Bravo chaos, The Traitors, The Bachelor, Jersey Shore, you cover it all, Amanda, and so much more. And with thoughtful analysis, humor, and a perspective that feels like you are chatting with your reality TV best friend, she's quickly become one of my favorite voices in reality TV community. And every time she joins the show, I know that we are going to have an honest, fun, and entertaining conversation. So everyone, please help me give a huge Villa Download welcome back to Amanda Bella from Bella Talks TV. Welcome back, Amanda.
I am so excited to be here again with you, Danny. Thank you for having me. That almost had me in tears. Thank you. Wow. You're right. This is my passion.
And it shows. But how are you? What have you been up to? Living life, loving life?
Yes, living life, loving life. That's for sure. It's been a very busy summer, but I have been actually working behind the scenes. So this is a great place to be talking about new content I have coming up, because I have been taking the summer to reorganize the pod. So if this is your first time hearing of me, that's great, because you're not going to miss anything. You're going to be able to come jump in right where I've left off. And the Bella Talks TV, the podcast, has always been a top 5 countdown of reality TV's most talked about moments. So I'm going to be bringing that format to also my social media now. So I'm going to be coming to TikTok and Reels harder with top 5 countdowns daily of things that are happening, top 5 favorite moments of certain episodes. And I'm really going to be leaning into my top 5 countdowns. So I'm excited to share that with you and everybody listening because I'm really excited about the future of Bella Talks TV.
I am so geeked out for that. And I already love your format. So to see you amp that up is so exciting because I definitely think, Amanda, there is so many content creators out there. No shade, because there is room for everyone. But you do such a great job standing out because of your format, which just so nicely works because, as you know, there is so much that could be talked about. And I have the hardest time, Amanda, like narrowing it down. I wish I had a little bit more of your approach, but I think it's very digestible the way that you handle it. So, that's really exciting news.
Thank you. Yes, I've been working so hard because that is exactly what it is. Like there are more content creators than ever in this field. We're growing as not just a Bravo content community, but as a reality TV. I mean, we're going to talk about it today with just the expansion of Hulu and other networks getting in on the reality TV. Basically just the pop that's happened. Like that's the only way I can explain it. There's just been like this like pop that happened the last year. Really like we kind of started seeing it amp up back around Scandival. That was kind of like when people who had never heard of any of these shows started dipping their toes. And then I feel like we got a lot of celebrities and a lot of people who there was just like this new like zeitgeist around it. And you're right. I wanted to still find a way to stand out, but also be able to deliver those stories and those headlines and those moments that everybody really wants to talk about. So finding ways to edit, like you said, kind of like it's really hard to be like, oh my gosh, only 5 moments, but it does force me to like organize my thoughts. And then, if I had a podcast where I talked about everything, I would be talking for like 3 hours a day. So we got to edit.
It's hard.
It's so hard.
Yes. Well, everyone, please make sure to give her a follow at Bella Talks TV on all socials. All right, everyone, it's time for today's drinking word. Since we're kicking things off with one of the biggest new reality TV conversations out there, tonight's word is Stassi. So every time Amanda and I say the word Stassi, whether we're talking about House of Stassi, Stassi Schroeder herself, or her impact on reality TV, take a sip. But pace yourself because something tells me we're going to be saying Stassi quite a bit tonight. So drink responsibly, stay hydrated, and let's get into it. So what exactly is a House of Stassi? Think of it as part family docuseries, part behind-the-scenes reality show, and part career comeback. The series follows Stassi Schroeder as she balances marriage, motherhood, podcasting, writing, and life after Vanderpump Rules. Along the way, she opens the door to her family and closest friends and isn't afraid to break the fourth wall and has honest conversations about fame, friendships, and what it means to reinvent yourself after reality TV. It's definitely more personal and self-aware than what we are used to from our traditional Bravo shows. So kudos to Hulu for that. And that's exactly what makes it so interesting and refreshing. But before we dive into everything that's happened so far with Amanda, let's take a minute to meet the cast because this isn't your typical reality TV ensemble that we're used to. And honestly, that's what makes it so refreshing. At the center of it all, of course, it's Stassi Schroeder.
Let's do this. I'm a mom, a wife, a sister, a friend. Some would say an influencer. Others would call me mother.
Schroeder. But this isn't the Stassi we first met on Vanderpump Rules. She is now a wife, a mother of 2, a best-selling author, a successful podcaster, and for the first time, an executive producer of her own series. And one of the most fascinating parts of the show is that Stassi isn't pretending her past doesn't exist. Instead, she's openly discussing it, breaking the fourth wall, and asking a bigger question. Can I build a new legacy that's bigger than Vanderpump Rules? What do you all think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. It's incredibly self-aware, and I think that's one of the show's biggest strengths. Then there's her husband, Beau Clark, who...
I'm a 1950s housewife. I have my apron on. You come over. Like, can I have a beer?
Clark, who could potentially be the MVP of the entire series. It depends on who you ask. While Stassi is juggling podcasts, appearances, writing, and filming, Beau has naturally stepped into a much larger role at home. The show doesn't shy away from reality that this creates tension. They even talk about why they call his polarity a problem and how their relationship has shifted as Beau becomes more of the stay-at-home parent while Stassi's career continues to take off. Something a lot of us females have, been used to for a while, just saying. Regardless, though, it's an honest conversation that you don't often see on reality television. Adding another dynamic is Stassi's younger sister, Georgiana, better known as Georgie. She actually moves into Stassi and Beau's home, which gives the series a true family element instead of relying solely on friendships and group drama. I think that's what makes some of our best reality television shows. So watching the sisters navigate living together has been both entertaining and surprisingly relatable. Of course, Stassi and Beau's children, Harper and Messer, are also a huge part of the show. They're not just occasional appearances, they're woven into the everyday reality of balancing careers, marriage, and parenthood. Not that we see them often, but they're definitely talked about, making the series feel much more grounded than your average reality show. Outside of the media family, we have Stassi's inner circle. And that's where longtime Bravo fans will feel right at home. First up is Katie Maloney.
I miss my ride or die, Katie Maloney. I need her to do this show.
This is f***ing awkward.
Terrible! If you hit me, I hit you with my car. Oh God. I don't like two-faced piece. You are big ol'. Give me a f***ing break. You at least act interested.
Does anyone else have any issues with me they want to bring up?
I don't know. I'm having a good time, so whatever.
Maloney. And honestly, her presence alone is worth watching, in my opinion. The series immediately reveals something fans never knew, that Katie and Stassi quietly went through a significant falling out over the past years, although there were hints of that in speculation. Instead of pretending everything is perfect, they're actually documenting the process of rebuilding their friendship. We also get to meet Katie's boyfriend, Nick Martin, as he becomes part of the group. Then there's Christina Kelly, who longtime Vanderpump fans know has always been one of Stassi's loyal friends. She brings a calming, level-headed presence to the group and often serves as the voice of reason whether things start getting chaotic. And another standout is Taylor Schroeder.
Well, now you're a reality star.
I mean, TBD, we'll see if I'm like a reality star or just like a reality.
A friend of.
Literally. I remember talking about it like 4 years ago. I think we were on tour. So I was like, but like, should I go back? And we're like, yeah. She was like, well, I want it to be like about this. You guys, we work together. And I was like, you know me. I'm like salivating, drooling. Get a mop. Here's a puddle on the ground. I'm like, let's do it.
What weren't you prepared for? What surprised you?
How ugly the right side of my face is. I did feel like I was really myself, but like then of course I second guess things and it's like, why wasn't I this version of me?
Yeah.
Why was I that version
Why wasn't I more
of me?
demure?
Like I'm just like very like, maybe I need to be cooler. I'm just very hyper.
Right.
And
like, shut up.
Literally, Taylor, shut the fuck up.
God,
calm down.
Stassi's close friend and podcast co-host. One of the fun things about Taylor is that she's always dreamed of being on reality TV, so finally watching her get that opportunity is a little bit enjoyable. Beyond that, we also get to follow her and her wife, Taylor Teddy Donahue, as they navigate their journey between coming parents, adding another heartful storyline to the series. And then rounding out the group is Rob Evers, Beau's best friend. Rob gives Beau someone to lean on as they talk through marriage, fatherhood, and unique challenges that come with suddenly having cameras back in your everyday life, and also the dynamic of male friendships, which I don't feel like we get to see as much as we do on this show. So what I really appreciate about this cast, and there's more to the cast, is that it doesn't feel like Hulu went out there looking for the loudest personalities or the biggest drama. Instead, they built the show around people who genuinely are a part of Stassi's life. That makes the relationships feel authentic, the conversations more meaningful, and the family dynamic the true star of the show. It feels less of a traditional reality series and more like we're getting involved into Stassi's real world. Now, one of the things we have to get into, and I did give our audience a little bit of a breakdown of, in my opinion, and I can't wait to get into your opinion, Amanda, one of the hottest shows, whether you love it, hate it, am indifferent to it, is the House of Stassi. So I gave the audience a little bit of breakdown of that cast. But what are your overall thoughts on a show like the House of Stassi? How are you feeling about it, especially with all these big personalities? Initial thoughts?
It's a lot. Like, okay, so to give everybody a little bit of a background, I don't try to be like contradictory or be one of these people who just always happens to have a hot take. But like for some reason, I do to go against the grain. I don't know what it is about my upbringing or my education or something that I have a different perspective that I feel like than like 50% of the people watching these shows sometimes, which is about right? Like half the people in the world usually agree with you, half the people don't. And you kind of just have to realize that you're not always going to have the same opinion as everybody. And it doesn't mean you're right or wrong. But for some reason, I just like never really like got Stassi. Like I appreciate her. And I always have to say too, like I would be silly not to like put respect on her name. Like clearly she is a huge part of the Bravo just lore. Vanderpump Rules is my favorite Bravo show. So it's like my favorite show. And for me to not like acknowledge Stassi as being like the founding mother of that. But I just, as a person, and it's weird, I'm a Cancer. We have almost the same birthday. I'm like, okay, you would think I'm like more of an Ariana, I think, than like a Stassi.
Okay.
Which is funny because they are birthday twins.
Yes, I totally forgot about that. And then that light bulb went off in my head.
Do you have a diamond pin?
Okay.
Yes. Holy Okay, so first of all, our theme is the best.
It is the best because no one ever does winter and summer.
Winter
Christmassy, Christmassy, Hanukkah.
house.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Should we have a Christmas tree?
There's no such thing as too much.
Yes, no such thing.
I never could have imagined throwing a joint birthday party with somebody that I didn't really like.
I don't understand what you're doing.
Because I care about Katie. I don't give a about you. I used to look at Stassi and see this entitled brat, and part of me still thinks that she's pretty bratty, but now that Stassi and I are cool, I feel like why not have this amazing birthday blowout and actually do it right?
You're so nice about everyone but me. Why couldn't you be nice to me?
I think because...
Why can you see the good in everyone else, but you couldn't see the good in me?
Because I think you had this complex for a long time that you thought you were the boss of everybody.
See, it's because you're a boss too.
Okay, I can't just be crazy that I like don't vibe with Stassi that much, even though, you know, but there's just something about her. Like I am somebody who like, I think I'm like a little bit more of a people pleaser. I like good vibes. I would never want to step on someone's toes or make them feel uncomfortable. So like that part about Stassi is why I love to watch her though. It's like you have to remove being like liking her as a person and liking her as a reality TV star. So that's where I fall with her. Do I like her as a person? No. But do I like her as a reality TV star? Of course. Of course I do. She's very entertaining. And I burned through all 8 of these episodes in one sitting.
Me too. And I'm almost done watching it a second time. I was doing that right before this, just so it was a little bit more fresh because it's such a binge watch. And
it is.
I'm busy watching other things at the same time. So I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything, but I also love all of the conversations and thoughts and kind of like water cooler moments that it creates because the conversations that we are going to get into. But I would say one of the biggest things, Amanda, at least that I found refreshing, again, whether you love or hate Stassi, because there is definitely both sides of the coin, and I understand and I respect everyone's opinions. I'm not saying Stassi is perfect by any means. I'm not saying I agree with all of her actions, because I most certainly do not. She shouldn't be put on a pedestal at all, but to your point, she makes really good TV. But one of the most refreshing aspects is kind of like the breaking of the fourth wall, which us Bravo girlies are so used to Bravo not allowing them to break the fourth wall. I mean, I'm lucky that Jersey Shore does it beautifully with the breaking of the fourth wall, but again, it's really refreshing in such an authentic way to see them breaking this wall. So how are you feeling about kind of the approach that they're taking with the show? And do you wish more shows were like that?
Yes, I do agree that it's nice to see something different. Like, it's not just this same format that every show is being put through. And I think we got a little bit lost in the Housewives format like that, where it was like dinner, fight, getting together the next day to talk about it.
A game of some sort.
Going on a trip. And it was just, we did definitely feel a little bit. I felt like that too. Just after 20 years of Housewives, I've been watching it for 20 years since it started. So after 20 years, we were due for some kind of a change and like a disruption in it. Now, do I think they did it like maybe a smidge too much? Like, I think the problem I have with House of Stassi is there's two little things. One is just the way that she really put the pressure, and she's not wrong for this, because that is how these shows work. But by telling everybody else in the cast that like, this is what we signed up for, and like, we're about to basically just rip each other's heads off, and that's it. Like, we're here to fight, kind of, or like, that's not what they're gonna say, but it is going to be a fight. Like, we saw them fight in like almost every episode. There was a fight. So it is fighting, even though your intention isn't to get into a fight.
Yeah.
But I think just by putting him in this pressure cooker situation, it was just like she was constantly reminding us like, hey, we're here to like do this. And I agree with it, but I think it was like the twist of the Kris Jenner part that made me just have this like monocle on.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like, like, what is the point of this show? Like, the point of the show is to tell us that you're making a show, but like, I just never really got like the point of what they were trying to do on the show, I guess, because we didn't get anything resolved in the last episode. So I felt like, okay, is this just going to be a show where we go season for season and like nothing ever gets resolved? I don't know. I'm feeling a little like haphazard after the first season because we got no resolution. But I think that for that reason, it like broke it too much for me. It was like too real. I'm like, okay, where's the part where the producers forced them to make up and like get some resolution here? So I don't know. I didn't like that.
Yeah, no, I can see that. And I think that is definitely a valid point. I also think that is a Hulu thing, especially with like how fast they can churn out things. Although they did take their time, because the House of Stassi has been filming they've been filming off and on for a couple of years, or like testing it out. But I think they only had a short amount of time to actually film what they were doing. You're home and you're not filming a show to just kind of like move on and just, okay, this is our relationship the way it is. I don't need to address it because, I have my safe place to go home to at the end of the night, but they're filming a show. So I just feel like so much of it is coming to a boil that they're addressing it on TV like therapy. I am hoping, because this was their first season and she's just trying to get them used to it, like shock therapy kind of, that maybe next season, hopefully it's not so much calling out people that, hey, we're here to film a show. Because I'm sorry, Christina Kelly needed to know, we are here to film a show. As nice as she is, maybe we wouldn't have Vanderpump Rules as we know it because of the snowball she created back in the day with the casting. But some of them needed to be shaken up a little bit, but again, like hopefully it dies down. And going back to the whole Kris Kardashian of it all, rewatching it, I did find it a little bit obnoxious, Amanda, how much she brought up Kris's name. So to your point, it's like, are you making the show because you want to have a good show, or are you making the show because you want to meet Kris again and have like a crossover? Although I get her wanting to like build this life for her family, but that's just kind of my thoughts on that part of it.
No, I agree. It's just for some reason that Kris Jenner name drop, it just really took me out of it every time. And that's why it was like almost too much of the fourth wall breaking, because I kept like getting out of the show and thinking about like other stuff. And I'm like, why am I thinking about the Kardashians right now? I'm watching House of Stassi. Like, it just... I mean, plus, I'm not sure if you were deep into Vanderpump Villa, but I watched it all. Did you?
Yeah, I did. I watched every season from the start. It gets better every season.
I agree. I
love some of the cast members. I hope it comes back this season with all the same cast members, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like that was like the perfect intro into this. And I can't imagine how people...
And she saved the show, I have to say that. I didn't watch it for Lisa Vanderpump. I continued to watch it because I knew Stassi was going to be on. And again, not that I was like, although I have a season when Stassi, hoodie, I don't put her on a pedestal, but she makes good TV. I needed a little dose of her, but
yes, I agree. Like I wasn't like, oh my God, running to Vanderpump Villa to see Stassi, but I do think she brought something different to the villa. I do think her and Lisa's relationship is actually interesting. Like I really liked their scenes, especially the ones where they were talking about Sheena. I just thought that was honestly authentic. Like I love that they kind of just forget the cameras are there, which is great about them. Yes. They're so seasoned that they will say anything. But there was just something about that. You're right. You said something that really hit it on the head. Was Stassi was always reminding people, or like introing them, like, this is what we do. Okay, this is what we're going to do tonight. Like, this is what's going to happen at the next thing. Like, she was having to handhold everybody's hands during this. And like, I just felt like she should have done a little bit more of that, like before the season started. Because if they would have all been prepared coming into the season, we would have spent more of the season actually dealing with these arguments or situations, or even with like Rob and Bo and their falling out and getting them back together.
Yeah.
And with Georgie and Stassi, we saw how Georgie, Georgia, and Stassi all kind of left things in Vanderpump Villa. So like I had the idea that they actually did understand the assignment.
I know, right? It was like a crash course for them.
Yeah, so they should have came into House of Stassi ready to go. Like this wasn't the time for them to get their feet wet. That was back at Vanderpump Villa, with the exception of Rob. He was the only one, but everyone else from the show already filmed. So they've already done reality TV. I don't know why they were getting such a pass, but
yeah, maybe because all eyes were not on them at the same time. So maybe it didn't feel as personal. Like they were still a part of the experience, but they were not necessarily the main focus per se.
Yeah.
But
it's
again,
not really an
really
ensemble cast. It's really it's House of Stassi. So like she's got to be the main point. And that's fine if we're not going to be following everybody else's like personal journeys as closely. I'm actually okay with that. But then what I need to see more of is more one-on-one conversations with Stassi. Like I never saw a scene of her and Georgia talk. I never saw a scene of Stassi and Rob sit down and be like, hey, this is your Beau's brother. Like he's talked about you for 11 years or what, like she was so removed from the group because she was doing what she was doing the whole time that she didn't really even understand all the things that were going on in the rest of the people that were filming. So I thought that was weird. I never even saw it. Like she should have been part of the conversation with Taylor and Christina and everybody in the payroll comments with Katie. Like the four of them should have all sat down together. We never saw them talk about it. Like it was just weird surprising that they never like, I don't know. It was just I don't know if I necessarily like the structure of the show. Is kind of like what I've kind of gathered is that like, I'm not 100% sure I'm like on board with Hulu's. I'm glad they're doing something different, but I don't know if I like it yet. It seems really messy still, but they're like getting they have their training wheels on still.
Yes, I mean, it feels like a little bit of the Wild Wild West, and I am here for how they are doing it, but maybe they do need to rein it in and have it slightly a little bit more organized. We're not that it feels restrained, but it needs to have a little bit of organization. Like, I'm sorry, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on Hulu has gone off of the freaking rails where it's going to end up being the demise of it. I don't think the House of Stassi will get to that point because Stassi is too smart for that. But between the breaking of the fourth wall, Amanda, and her whole inner circle, like her true whole inner circle being a part of the show, let's get into specifically some of the family dynamic. So we know that her family is on it. We have her mom, her sister. We also have the return of Nikolai, which was like, oh,
we needed him.
We did need him. I wasn't expecting their relationship to be how it is. So let's just first get into sweet little Nikolai, the boy that always had such a sound mind and was wiser beyond his years, especially when he would call out Jax and even Stassi at times.
Well,
you can let me have it.
Okay.
Don't hold back.
Well, okay, well, you gotta let me talk.
Oh, sorry.
I think that you shouldn't call girls the B word.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, work harder.
What about his wife, Katie?
Lower it down on the drinking so you don't fight with people, and maybe you can have more friends.
Okay. What about Jax?
You are just gonna be a drunk guy sitting in the lot, only thinking about having sex with girls.
I'm beginning to see how he's Stassi's little brother. Any advice for Ariana?
Just think about other people, because then you're gonna have no friends. What is happening?
What about Brittany?
There's no problem with her. There's just no problem.
Nikolai, any advice for me before I let you go? No.
See,
I don't know anything.
at times, but obviously now I think he's in his lower 20s.
Yes, I'm trying to remember. I know she did at one time state how much younger he was, but maybe like 13 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of years, but
they are brother and sister, but they're not close.
Yeah, he's probably like, if she's 39, he's probably like 25 or something.
Yeah.
So,
I just thought they would have been a little close, but he is super close to her mother, which we always know that they haven't necessarily got along. I mean, they are just like oil and water together.
Ketchup and some extra spices.
You don't want to tell me what they are, huh?
I don't.
Because it's your secret?
Because it's my secret.
He's so weird. He's so weird. I'm really glad that you guys are here because a year ago, you probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Last year, when my mom and I had our falling out, she said some mean things.
You're actually down here and you live here. But my clock is ticking and I need grandchildren.
She was over-emotional. She was irrational.
I just need her to hold me and tell me that she loves me.
And it was too much for me.
You guys could have talked in private, and you guys could have resolved it then, instead of not talking to each other for a year.
My brother's always been so incredibly mature, even as a little kid.
You have to be funny, handsome.
Be handsome?
You have to be mature, brave.
Mature's tougher.
Together, what do you think of her and her mom's dynamic? I mean, me, myself, Amanda, I did a lot of evaluating of what my dynamic was in the past with my mom and just knowing the reason why I did compartmentalize certain things with her, especially becoming a mom. So I really feel for what Stassi has gone through and is going through. I think that's probably the biggest similarity I have with her. No disrespect to my mother. But what was your take on their dynamic, especially knowing what you know over the years?
Yeah, I was really disappointed too. Like, I feel like for us, I thought we were going to get a check-in with Stassi and we were going to see how things have just gotten immensely better in her life.
Yeah.
Like, I really thought like, okay, she's successful. She's in this marriage. She's got her children now. her and her family will be like, I don't know why I just assumed like getting older and being off TV would make it things kind of like wiser and better for her. But unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like it reads that way. It kind of seems like her time away was really spent kind of like in the dark almost. Like it almost like she kind of explains it like herself, like she was kind of just like in a dark hole for a couple of years. And hey, that's understandable. Like we're not all willing to work on our relationships with our families and stuff when we're depressed. That's like the last thing we're thinking of doing. So I actually do give her grace for that because we've all gone through hard times and stuff where we just can't focus on those other relationships. We're just trying to keep ourselves going. She's got young kids, maybe she was just really focused on that for a little while. But you would think like becoming a mom or, but I know that that's not fair because like you said, not just because you're becoming a mom doesn't mean you're going to be closer with your mom. There are moms that are also, unfortunately, have their own personality disorders and their own traumas and their own things. They're just not able to be there. So I guess I was just really hoping her becoming a mom would help her get closer with her mom. But it doesn't seem that way. And that really did bum me out. It seems like all three of them, kind of have their own separate relationships with Dana.
Yeah.
And I think Dana does just want Stassi to like her, but Stassi just can't fake it. And until they're able to find some common ground where they agree on things, they're just going to keep having conflict. And I wish Stassi would understand, because this is one of my biggest problems about reality TV too, is that you don't have to have fighting for it to be compelling TV. Like, I just have a feeling that because she was rewarded for that for so long and was like known for being that dark passenger, that she just thought she was supposed to come in and like dark passenger everybody. And that's what the fans wanted. But it like really made me sad that she's just like fighting with everybody, including her mom and her siblings. So it's kind of just a bummer.
Yeah, I agree. It is a bummer. I will say in her defense, though, nobody brought up my personal dark passenger more than my mom because they know how to push those buttons. And there's so much already boiling up. So I get it. It doesn't mean that it's right, but I get it. And sometimes when you become a mom, you have all these epiphanies of like, no, things should have went down this way. And now, Mom, you're 60 and now I'm a child. I mean, now I have a child and you're still acting like this. You lose your patience with everything going on. We also have to keep in mind, like, when did she get fired from Vanderpump Rules? Was that right before COVID?
Yeah, I think she said she was 7 months pregnant when she got fired, or 6 months pregnant. Like that.
So she went from that to COVID and like having our whole world understandably be obliterated in the reality TV world because of her horrible actions, which we won't get into in this episode. That would need like a whole other deep dive.
Right. And everybody knows what happened.
Yeah. And then you go into being a parent. And if your head's not right, it might be hard to get your whole out of it. But I don't know. I also think her and Bo are like trauma bonded because of that.
It's a very good point. I didn't even think of that, but you're so right. Like he also had he and Stassi weren't really together for that long when that happened.
Yeah, that's so true.
That's like such a huge test. It obviously did bring them closer. And if that's a trauma bond, that's a trauma bond. But they obviously did. And I think it's good that they can see like they've gone through these hard times and stuff. Like if they're like, literally your worst moment in life, he didn't leave. So, and he's still with her and supports her. So I do think that is really great. Like, I think that they probably really have the foundation there. I'm so scared that if she cannot push this too hard, like she's gonna have to, in season 2, she's gonna have to like lay off a little bit, because another season of her, like, it seems honestly like she's just throwing everybody under the bus for the sake of making a show, because she probably pitched the show forever.
Yeah.
And really, fought to get it made. And then now it's really up to her to make it a good thing. So I think she just put so much pressure on herself. Like with Vanderpump Rules, it wasn't on Stassi's back. It was
Correct.
everyone had to show up and make it work. So she just, I think by pitching it as a show about her and making everything about her, that's just a lot of pressure. It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point. She also has a lot to prove as well. And I think Amanda, instead of going to therapy, which I think everyone who has been watching agrees should go to therapy, I think she's using this as therapy for herself and everyone. Like, I really think she has it in her head that she's going to treat this like therapy. So if I'm throwing them into this is just all of us working it out, which I mean, it is really them working it out. A lot of us are not confronted with having these type of conversations with our loved ones, let alone some of our friends, even though at times we probably should have these conversations instead of just letting things fester in our head or like shit talking behind their back. But I don't know. I do hope I get where both sides are coming from in their relationships, but she needs to deliver it better.
Yes. Like I'm rooting for her. Like I literally did tune into this show being like, oh my gosh, there was a part of me that was like, oh my God, if Stassi's completely changed and is like this wonderful person now, like I'm going to have to go on and tell everybody like, hey, she has changed so much. She's matured so much. Like and like, I can't say that. I feel like I'm just looking back in a 2020 or 2019 mirror of her and I'm not seeing any growth. It's a little scary, but I am still rooting for her. Like at the end of the day, really, really do want to see her. Like I would love to see her and Beau come together and have some kind of breakthrough. I would love to see her and Dana, have a breakthrough. Like you said, maybe it's not possible, but if they get even Nikolai, like she kind of set up for next season that like maybe we didn't get to see those resolutions this season, but hopefully next season we can. My fear is that because she refuses to go to therapy, like she admitted, I'm getting a sense from her that she doesn't want to change. She actually thinks that this is like her, it's almost like her like gem. Like this is like what makes her relevant and important in this reality TV world. And I'm like afraid that she doesn't think that we want her to evolve. She doesn't think that we want to see her become better. She just thinks we want to see Dark Passenger all the time because unfortunately there are so many people online that enable her. And there is a fan group that don't want her to change. There are people that champion toxicity because, in reality TV, we do sometimes want to see things reflect how things are in our own life.
Right.
So I have that thing with, I compare her and Lindsay Hubbard a lot together. Like, like same with Lindsay. I'm not sure.
No, that's a very good comparison.
I don't think Lindsay fully wants to evolve either because she gets so much praise for being who she is that it's like, why would I want to come back a better person next season? So I don't know. I have a hard time with that because I really want to see them both grow, especially that they're both mothers now, but I'm just like not seeing it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I do see growth from both of them, but not to the extent I think we would all want them to be, and in the areas that they probably need it the most.
Yeah, like I think of like Carl Radke. Like, look at Carl got so much hate, but like look at he's like just had his 5-year sober anniversary. Like he has changed completely, and he has more fans than ever. So I hope that they can see that there's a way to like evolve in a way where you're still authentic to yourself and you're still entertaining, but you're not just ripping the heart of everybody around you out because I was so sad watching this season. Like every episode, I just felt sick. I'm like, oh my God. Like it just felt like there was like no bottom. Like we just kept going deeper and deeper.
I agree. I still loved it all, but no, very valid point. So speaking of not changing, one person we found out that hasn't really changed is Miss Sheena Shea, and possibly her wanting to be on the Mormon Wives, which at first
about Sheena. Go, please. I can't get away from this woman.
Sheena will 100% show up at my funeral and make it about her.
She told me that she's like walking away from Bravo completely. And then she goes, so do you have any like events coming up? Like Brock was Mormon and like maybe I could come like be on your show.
Brock is not Mormon.
Or grew up Mormon.
Sheena loves the spotlight. I would be more surprised if she didn't.
And the Mormon wives, which at first I thought it was just like really far-fetched, but I don't see Jesse making that up. So do you think that they should have gone there? What first went through your head, Amanda, when they brought that up? Yeah, for real.
She has been. She has been between the Mormon wives and the Vanderpump Rules people. She can't escape. But I actually think it's deserved. Sheena does find her way with that. The whole book situation in general was just bad because she's another person I really wanted to see. Like, she kind of like lost her way a little bit. And I wasn't the biggest Sheena fan for the first like 7 seasons of Vanderpump Rules. I actually, because I was never on Stassi's side, I feel like I was always kind of rooting for the people that were fighting with her. And so there was a time where I did think Sheena kind of was a little bit of a victim. But then again, when you take the victim card too far, like it's such a delicate thing in reality TV. Like when you're handed something, you like can't play it. You can't play your hand too hard. Like she just ran way too hard with all of her victim mentality. And I think that that's why people were just like, okay, Sheena, like we've all been through Vanderpump Rules. We've all survived together. Like she did not come out the worst out of everybody. If she actually would have never wrote the book and never would have commented on any of this, she would actually be maybe in a place where we were calling for her to come back right now.
Yeah.
But she can't help it. That's also why we love her, because she cannot deny a moment she gets to like make a comment and say something. So I actually do totally believe that she thought for a hot second she could make it onto Mormon Wives. She's that delusional.
That would have been so bad.
It would have been so bad. It never would have happened. I personally don't ever want to see Brock on TV ever again. Like,
I agree.
I know I actually would maybe be open to them at some point in the Valley if they were really needed, but I actually don't think that will happen because it seems like Sheena's also, again, burned that bridge because she was in negotiations allegedly before and like blew it up. So I don't know. I don't know what Sheena's MO is. Is it going to be to do a Stassi route where she eventually does want to get back on TV so bad that she'll be willing to, we've seen kind of what she did already. She threw Brock under the bus with the cheating. She threw LVP under in the book, blamed everything on her. So it's like, okay, where do we go from here? But she does almost have that Stassi quality. And I saw somebody post, I think I reposted it, where they put like Stassi and Sheena are the same person, different font, because I actually do agree with that. They're extremely desperate to be on television and to be relevant. So they have that little thing inside of them. I don't know. Sheena, she just can't stop putting like her foot in her mouth. I think she could make a really good like comeback if she could be a little bit more strategic about the things she was going to comment on and like what type of vibe she was trying to put out there, because we see Hulu giving shows to people that used to be on Bravo. We see Amazon Prime doing the golden life. Like there is a future for people that have been on reality TV or been on Bravo that are kind of in the graveyard now that need to be like brought back to life. But she's got to like figure out who she is. She's always felt so like lost to me. It's like, who is Sheena? So if she can figure out who she is, I think that there could be a place for her on TV again one day, but she seems very lost.
Yeah, it's such a shame because we do owe her for Vanderpump Rules and the unfortunate scandal that put it on the map, her cheating with Eddie Cibrian while he was married to Brandy Glanville from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So it is such a shame. You know what, Amanda? I see her going back to reality or getting her own show when she knows she's ready, or she's going to be divorcing Brock soon and making that be a part of her storyline.
I agree. I am shocked her and Brock have been together this long. I mean, I understand they have Summer Moon and that is the light of their life, but I'm shocked, especially after the cheating that came out. I can't believe they're still together. So you're right. Like maybe she would wait until she knew she was going to leave and then pitch that to someone. I mean, it seems like Hulu is basically willing to like do deals with the devil. Like there's like some of these shows that are coming out that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're like leaning into this, but they understand, I think, like Mormon Wives, that is, I mean, we haven't seen season 5, obviously, after all the Taylor Frankie Paul stuff. I'm very, very interested how they're going to be able to kind of like hero edit her, because I actually do think she's going to kind of get like an Amanda Batula treatment where they're going to try to keep her on the network and kind of try to like figure out a way forward with her, because they know that that brings ratings. So I'm interested to see, but like there's no morality there.
No, and she's the one that keeps on putting her foot in the mouth. But what do you think is the future for Bravo? Again, and knowing, to your point, you know, what Hulu and E is even doing with getting the scraps that Bravo maybe should have never let go. And then on top of that, you have Stassi and Katie Maloney calling out on the House of Stassi, like what they went through with Bravo and the PTSD that they have and how the guys were rewarded. What do you see happening with Bravo for this? Is this going to hurt them at all?
That is such a good question. I have thought about that, because when I was watching the show, I never thought that. I never thought it was like men versus women on the show. I don't know. It always felt like it was equal. They were all fucking up. It was like equal opportunist. Like it wasn't just, I don't know. I didn't get that really until that last season with Tom Sandoval. Like that's when it was very clear to me. But like, it was very clear that Andy personally was so entrenched in his relationship with both of the Toms. I mean, same with Lisa. Like the Toms had a chokehold on Bravo. Like they were like the stars. So I do think that there were probably some excuses made. Now, when it comes to the Valley, I would be hard pressed to say that they're protecting the men over there. It seems like no one is being protected. So I don't think it's like a Bravo problem. Like, I don't know. There's some shows where the men get the heat. There's some where they don't. I mean,
I don't think it's a Bravo problem. I think it's an Alex Baskin problem.
Yes. I do totally agree with that. Alex Baskin,
all of his shows are sucking, by the way, too.
The worst. They're the worst.
Except for the Valley Persian style, which is Alex Baskin in charge of that? Yeah, he is in charge of that.
Okay, that's interesting. I forgot about that one. That I loved that first season. I'm so happy they got renewed. That's so good.
So good, right. But hopefully they don't do what the Valley does, because Amanda, I watched the first and second season. I cannot bring myself to watch the season. At any time I was thinking about it, I listened to another podcaster and they talk me out of it after I'm hearing their take on the show. But obviously I know everything's going on.
I want you to give it a chance, because I think you are a lot like me, where if you can stomach House of Stassi, you can stomach the Valley. Like it's, to me, I love watching the men. Like I'm living. I have been watching, this has been appointment TV for me. Like I've been loving the Valley. Yes, because every episode it's these asshats they're getting the edit. They're getting exposed. Like they have not taken off the neck off of these men. Now, if you're a Danny Bucco fan, not the season for you. If you're a Luke fan, not the season for you. If you like Jesse, not the season for you. This is not a men season. This is a women being championed season. So I love this season. But there's a lot of people that freaking love Danny and Nia, and they couldn't sit and watch it. And you know, we hate to see our faves fall from grace.
It happens.
But guess what? It happens to everyone. Everyone gets their turn in the hot seat. So I loved this season.
Okay, I'll put on those glasses while I'm watching it, that perspective going into it, and knowing that it's that kind of season, I will give it a try. And let you know,
it's not great seeing Kristen and Nia struggling postpartum. However, a lot of their stuff is self-inflicted and could have been avoided. So I also kind of like watching that dynamic too, because they could have very easily like came out looking like they were able to almost like call things out more, like we would have been like, yes, like we just want to like root for our girls. Like we've been watching Kristen for so long. Like I love Dodie. Like these people are really feel like family members at this point.
For real, we've been watching them for so long. It feels weird to like, not that we actually feel like they're family members, but
I'm very
we just
parasocial.
know so, okay, we just know so, well, no, I kind of feel that way about like Ariana sometimes.
Yes.
We just know so much. We watch them go through so many things, like their highest of highs, their lowest of lows, from, you know, maybe effing in an alleyway to now being a mom. Like, it's wild. And it's not very often you get to see behind the curtain for all those people. It is hard to quit them. Even though you can't stand them.
I'm rooting for all of them. Like I said, even for Stassi, I want to see her like break through and like have an aha moment and like be like, okay, I can make reality TV without embarrassing everybody in my family. I can make reality TV without having to have blind loyalty and alliances to people. Like these are things that are going on these shows. And it's like, we got to get back to the authenticity. We really got lost in the alliances part and like the edits part of the reality TV and the people trying to manipulate. Yes. If they can just get back to like that feeling of just, I want to live my life and share it, we're going to be right back. They just got a little like lost. They're getting a little bit lost in sauce right now. I think there's so much pressure on all of them because they were all basically removed from TV and then brought back, that like they all feel if they're not making the most insane TV every second of the day that we're all going to tune out. But like, we're not. I would literally watch Kristen like sit on the couch with Jill and like breastfeed. I don't know, that sounds weird, but I would. Like, I don't need drama. I just want to see them like living their authentic lives. And if
I wonder if they feel like they
drama,
have to do that because Jax isn't there. Sorry to cut you off.
No, and that is true. That Jax drove a lot of storyline. Jax was willing to say a lot of things on camera that other people weren't willing to do. Jax was willing to kind of expose himself. If it was for like the greater good of the show, where a lot of people are constantly trying to protect themselves. Like, you know, Jax will always go down in history. It's like, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. I don't need to see him anymore, even though
agreed.
Like I have changed my opinion on that within the last year. Like after he left after season 3 of or what season are we on of the Valley, 3 or 4 or whatever, whenever he left last season, I was like, okay, this is like, seems when there's someone's being dangerous, I 100% agree. Like I do have a zero tolerance for that.
Yeah.
Like, I do not want to see that or hear about that. That is scary. Like I do think he was like an actual like dangerous threat to at the time when he was using substances and stuff. Now, if he's actually sober now, who knows? Maybe I would want to see if he's sober for 5 years like Carl. Maybe I would want to see him in like 4 years and how he's doing. But for the most part, like what I'm trying to say is that we have watched these people for so freaking long and go through all of the ups and downs of life. Like we're not going to just abandon them and give up on them if there's like one bad season. So I want them to like take the pressure off of themselves of having these like viral moments, these sound clip moments, these like the rehearsed lines and the alliance, just like basically them controlling the narrative. That's got to stop. But besides that, I'm like still loving watching all of their journeys. I could watch them for 20 more years.
You know who I could keep on watching though, now that we covered House of Stassi and a little bit of the Valley, let's head across the country, girl, and check in with Bravo's newest generation, Next Gen NYC. What are your... If you like this chaos, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode with your reality TV and pop culture besties or group chats. And hit that bell because I do typically go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central, but it could always change. And you don't want to miss my hot take, zero filter commentary, and all the reality TV and pop culture mess. Hey guys, Amanda and I had so much fun that this actually ended up turning into a 2-hour episode. So to make it easy for everyone, I'm going to be breaking up the episode into 2 parts. So Be on the lookout very soon for everything that we get into with Next Gen NYC, McBee Dynasty, you know, the show that is problematic, but we love to watch it for some reason. We get into Real Housewife of Orange County, celebrating the 20th season, the hits and the misses of it. And then, of course, we get into just final quick thoughts on Love Island and really how we truthfully feel about the breakup between Alondria and Nick and how I might be doing a little side-eye. Yeah, I said what I said. So be on the lookout. Excited for you to check out that episode with Amanda and I. If you've made it this far, you are officially Villa downloaded. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share this episode because the reality TV chaos never stops. You can follow me, of course, at Danny Gossip Girl across social media, the Villa Download on Instagram, and of course, the Villa Download on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, because this episode will be available wherever you listen. So make sure to give a 5-star review too. I will be back next week with more reality TV mess, pop culture drama, and unfiltered hot takes. And that wraps up another episode of the Villa Download, your go-to spot for all things pop culture, reality TV, Bravo, Love Island, and every messy moment in between. Stay Villa Downloaded.
The villa to the lady.